Why Donald Trump is the smartest president in the USA. Before we start, I would want you to hit that red subscribe button so that you never miss out on any of our videos. Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to Intro with North Central. When I was growing up, I always thought the president of the United States had to be smart, honest, kind, and in possession of a higher sense of integrity. Later in the game, during the presidential debates, I was introduced by Hillary Clinton to the mysterious existence of public and private positioning. In this third year in office, President Trump continued to deliver an extraordinary list of accomplishments. Here's why he is the smartest president in the United States. Number 1. He is emotional and has no filter. Some will confuse this lack of filter with honesty, others with a mental disorder. Whatever it is, I like it. This level of transparency and free expression might forever change the way the American public engages with the public officials. Trump's raw emotional representations, however racist, sexist, homophobic, or xenophobic, are remarkable assets to understanding the British dynamics of power.
They're sending people that have lots of problems, and they're bringing those problems with us.
Hopefully, this will inspire righteous outrage, creative resistance, and an innovative, social media-driven way of organizing quickly and impactfully, especially from the artists, activists, and young folks who checked out under previous White House administrations. Number 2, he is polarizing. Since Trump pushes from an emotional space of fear, he polarizes Americans in so many ways. He pounced on the Mexican immigrants.
And Mexico will pay for the wall.
China and Hillary Clinton to stimulate and polarize white working class from the Rust Belt state to win him the election. He inspired the Nazis, neo-Confederates, and alt-right to come together to protest the removal of Robert A. Lee statue in Charlottesville, SC, where we saw them in action, leaving one person dead. Trump will wake up the left, the Democrats, independents, and students to organize and counter in ways they were not inspired to do under Obama. Number 3, he agates African Americans and people of color. Trump is no fan of Black America. In fact, Trump has repeatedly shown that black lives do not matter to him. Check his response to the Central Park 5 case.
You better believe that I hate the people that took this girl and brutally. You better believe it.
His work on the birther movement because he believed he did not need the black voice to win the election. I suspect he thinks African Americans are irrelevant, hence his decisions not to meet with the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People at their national convention. Perhaps it's time for Black American, people of color, and other disenfranchised groups to look elsewhere, maybe internally, to move our agendas. His response to Charlottesville should make his racial politics very clear. My hope is that having a white supremacist sympathizer in the White House will produce a strong, creative, and effective counter-response and a new list of leaders ready for serious long-term action. Number 4, he inspires counterintuitive alliances. Trump's policies and unfiltered self have forced leading CEOs to quit his manufacturing council and army leaders to offer support for transgender soldiers. Internationally, his craziness is beginning to demystify Europe's romance with all things American. Even Germany and France have publicly shown wincing faces of disappointment. And perhaps many enemies of America, who may also be enemies of each other, are trading for good seats to watch Trump implode, since they might think that the greatest act of terror against America was its own citizens voting him into office. When Trump is done, member of the 1% will be out in the street protesting with the rest of us. Number 5, he's not afraid to fire folks. James Comey, Anthony Scaramucci, and Stephen Bannon. Remember them? This is quite exciting. My hope is that under the right pressure, he will fire the wrong person, which he may have already done, or maybe even fire himself. I'm convinced Trump's personality, pathological politics, and presidency will force threats of international war, domestic protests, and social strokes around the issue of race, class, gender, and sexuality. While I do not value watching the American presidency and bipartisan politics crash and burn, I am afraid, unfortunately, that this is what might be needed to realign the American people to the promise of the American Constitution and inspirational spirit of the American dream. Perhaps a system reset will not only save us from ourselves, but save us from leading the world into self-destruction through insane greed, gaslighting, selfishness, and Hollywood grandiosity. Unstable leadership usually expose the moral strength and composition of the rank file. And sometimes we are more focused, more capable, and more organized when we fight against something to protect something we love. I am convinced that Trump will inspire an interconnected response, testing the spirit of the American people, overcoming the blood and sweat-stained divisions of US history and making the country more inclusive, more just, more emotional, intelligent, and yes, even more great. Trump started the fight for the heart and soul of America. Now it's time to meet the challenge. I'm ready to fight back, and I hope Americans who care about liberty, justice, and each other are ready to fight back too. The future of our nation and perhaps the world may depend on it. This brings us to the end of our video. I hope you enjoyed it. Hit like if you did, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel so that you never miss out on any of our videos in the future. Also, watch the 2 videos that are on your screen because I'm sure you'll love them. With that, I will see you in the next video.